What's up, guys? So here we are with some ridiculous news. So I knew this day would finally come for Robinhood. This news was just reported that Robinhood seeks up to a $35 billion valuation in a mega US IPO. Okay, this article was published by Reuters. But in this video, guys, we're not just going to talk about the article. We're actually going to, open up the SEC filing that was filed on Monday, July 19th, and we're going to actually go in depth on Robinhood. So I kind of just wanted to cover the quick gist of it, and then we're going to dig into that SEC filing. A lot of amazing information in there, guys. So be sure to check it out. If you want to see the SEC filing for yourself, be sure to check in the link in the description below. So let's quickly go over it. So for you guys out here that are just hearing about this, Robinhood, obviously one of the biggest stock trading apps out there, absolutely changed the game, brought a lot of new money and a lot of new interest into investing in stocks and crypto in general. They're planning an IPO for around $35 billion and expect the shares to be priced at around 38 to 42 bucks, guys. So very interesting stuff here. Now, Robinhood was founded in 2013 by Stanford University roommates Vlad Tenev and Baju Bahat. And they are going to maintain obviously the majority of the voting power of the offering. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And as you can see here, basically Robinhood, obviously there's a lot of stuff circulating around Robinhood with the whole GameStop AMC saga. But let's be honest, guys, a lot of people like using Robinhood for commission-free trades. Now, I don't personally use Robinhood anymore. I prefer Webull. It's the platform that I use in a lot of my videos, and I use it to hold dividend stocks and things like that. I also use Fidelity and Coinbase. But for a lot of people, Robinhood is the easiest app to use. And like I said, if you really want to get investing and you're new to it, it's best to start with something easy. So Robinhood is a decent app for some people, but it's not for everybody, okay? So we don't know exactly when the IPO is going to be priced, okay? It just says that it's going to be, it's going to go public later this year, and it's going to trade under the ticker symbol HOOD, guys. So this is kind of the preview of it. So let's go right into it, guys. Let's dig right into the SEC filing and get the nitty-gritty information. Okay, so what we're looking at here is this form is a prospectus, okay? So anytime a company wants to go public or something like that, they're going to file this form with the SEC in Washington, D.C. It's called the S-1, guys. And what this basically does, it just gives a total overview of the offering, what the business does, the risk of the business, how the business makes money, and it tries to provide some information on kind of financials, right? So we're talking about the fundamentals. We're not talking about technical analysis like, where we think the stock price is going to go in the short run. We're talking about revenue, earnings, margins, stuff like that. So I'm going to quickly go over this. I don't want this video to go on too much, but there's a lot of information in here, and I've already read a good majority of this, so I wanted to give you guys the highlights. I'm also going to link to this, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to link to this in the description below, so please click the link in the description. You guys can check this out, read this for yourself if you're really thinking about investing in Robinhood. So, okay, first off, what I want to start out with is basically how this is going to work. So what's going to happen is that there's already a lot of shareholders that hold Robinhood Class A stock. So what they're going to do is they're going to sell some of those shares into the offering. In this offering, they're going to sell about 52 million shares, and then potentially another 2 million or so to raise funds. So usually they're going to raise this money. They're going to do number one things, probably pay off debt. Number two, they're going to use some of this money to launch, make the business better, to maybe hire more staff, and probably to launch some more products. I'm particularly guessing they're going to be launching something within the crypto space. Robinhood really, really, really needs to have its own wallet, okay? Me personally, I hold crypto, especially Bitcoin. I don't buy crypto on Robinhood because I think it's silly because you don't actually own the crypto. It's like some weird derivative or something like that. So probably this is what they're going to do with the money. So they're going to price the stock basically at $38 to $42. It's going to trade under the ticker symbol HOOD. So basically there's going to be three classes of stock. I hope you guys can see this. I want to blow this up, makes you can read this a little bit easier. The print isn't as big. So as you can see here, it's going to have, okay, so hopefully that's like a little bit better. So as you can see, there's three classes of stock, okay? We've got common A, common B, common C. if you're like me or a retail trader, you're going to be holding the Class A stock. Okay, that's the Class A stock. That's the stock that's going to be trading under the ticker symbol HOOD. The Class B and C, that's just for voting and things like that. That'll be held by insiders, like the co-founders and things like that. So don't worry about those shares. You're not going to be able to really purchase those shares anyway. So just focus on the Class A stock. Now, the two founders, they're going to hold a substantial amount of the stock. It says here, Vlad Teneviv, he's basically he's basically the talking head for the company. He's going to have around 7.9% of the stock and around 26% of the voting power. And then his co-founder, he's going to have 7.9% of the stock and 39% of the voting power, guys. So pretty standard here. They're going to keep a good percentage of the holding. So let's go over the prospectus. So that's kind of the beginning details. So let's go over Robinhood as a business, because everybody's talking crazy about Robinhood, but how does Robinhood make money? Do they make a lot of money? How much do they make? Are they growing fast? How many users do they have? So we're going to go over all of this. All of this information is actually in the prospectus. It is really interesting to see. So as you guys have already known, for you guys out here, Robinhood is very, very popular for millennials. And as you can see, the average age of the customers is quite on the younger side. So 25, 32, 22, 26, 33, 60. But for the most part, this is a platform built for younger investors, okay? Younger investors just starting out with their careers, new to investing, things like that. So a key thing to look at is, okay, right now Robinhood is around 18 million total funded accounts, 17.7 million active users, which I think is a ridiculously high retention rate. Basically, everyone that has money on the Robinhood platform is using the platform on a regular basis. So that's phenomenal. They hold around 81 billion in assets, and over 50% of the people are first-time investors, of course, due to the younger age, and around 80% are referred. So you guys can actually, if you guys want to join and download the Robinhood app, I'll post my link in the description below. But they have a pretty cool referral program where basically if you refer a friend, you get a free share of stock. So that's why they've been able to grow so organically. So obviously on this channel, we don't just talk about hype all the time. We try to talk about fundamentals. And now I want to really talk about, this is a shareholder letter, but I want to really dig into those numbers, okay? Because at the end of the day, we're going to figure out, is $35 billion too much to pay for Robinhood? And when you guys look at the fundamentals, you can see why this is going to be a very, 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 very expensive IPO and why I probably will not be buying it. So let's just go right into those numbers. So we dig down and go through a lot of this stuff. Obviously, this stuff is great stuff, but at the end of the day, I want to really know how much this company is making and whether it's a good purchase or not. Okay, so here we go. So here we are with some of those revenue numbers. So in last year, okay, Robinhood made about just under $1 billion in total revenue. Okay, the revenue was up 249% from 2019. So that's a ridiculous growth. Okay, that's a ton, right? And they generated around $7 million in net income compared to losses in 2019. So during the whole pandemic, Robinhood was profitable. So that's great. Now, just in the first 3 months of March 31st in the Q1 of 2021, they grew their revenue again, a ridiculous 300% year over year to 522 million. But they dealt with a bunch of losses, but that was due to convertible notes and warrants and things like that. So not really the core business was losing a lot of money because, as you can see here, EBITDA was $100 million. So what does all of this mean? Well, as we can see here, Robinhood is growing at a ridiculously fast pace. And I'm guessing the reason why they're going public is simply because, it just seems like, for the most part, the lull of the pandemic is over. And we know that a lot of the trading was done when people were stuck at home. So perhaps they're figuring this is a great time to cash out, okay? So as we can see here, I'm going to go into these numbers a little bit more. So hold on a bit. Okay, so here we are. So this is kind of the fundamental analysis, okay? So over last year, as I mentioned before, Robinhood did just under $1 billion in revenue. In Q1 2021, they did about half a billion, okay? So the growth has been ridiculous, right? It's been growing like crazy. And, a lot of people are probably going to want to get in on this growth. Now, here's the thing. Once this IPO is done, there's going to be around 720 million shares outstanding, okay? So a bit under 1 billion shares outstanding, but it's not going to be like a small, there's not going to be a small float or a number of shares outstanding as you've seen with some of these other companies. 700 million shares is quite a substantial number, and the IPO is going to be priced at around $40. So if it's at a $35 billion market cap, and the company last year did $1 billion in revenue. So I know the revenue is growing like crazy, but we don't know if this growth is going to pick up. Okay, a lot of the growth was due to crypto and things like that. We know crypto is really, kind of in a bearish market right now. A lot of people aren't buying Bitcoin as much. The stock market is cooling off. So we don't know if this growth is going to continue. So right now, if you just to take a look at last year's numbers, you're basically paying around a price to sales ratio of like 35 times last year's annual revenue, which seems pretty expensive to me, okay? And even if we look at the last quarter and Q1, they did around, even if we extrapolated that and we say, hey, they're going to do at least 500 million for 4 quarters, that's still $2 billion in annual revenue, which would basically put this company at a price to sales ratio of around 18 or something like that. So obviously, you're definitely paying a premium for this company. Robinhood obviously has a lot of growth and things like that, and they make a ton of money, guys. The company is doing really, really well. They're growing like crazy, and they have a ton of net funded accounts. As I mentioned earlier, the average revenue per person is around $137, which is substantial. Now, we have to talk about exactly how Robinhood is generating all of this revenue. And this is one of the problems that I have with Robinhood in general, and one of the reasons why there was the whole GameStop saga anyway. So I'm going to talk about that. We're going to dig into that and show you guys exactly how they're making their money. Okay, so this is a very, very important thing to understand exactly how Robinhood is making a ton of their money. So Robinhood generates the majority of their revenue, and I mean a substantial amount of it, okay? And we're going to dig a little bit deeper into like the total revenue breakdown and things like that. But I don't know this video to go on so much, but I think it's really important to understand. So as you can see here, it says, because a majority of our revenue is transaction-based, including payment for order flow, reduced spreads in securities pricing, reduced levels of trading activity, generally changes in our business relationships with market makers, or any regulation of or any bans of payment for order flow or similar practices may result in reduced profitability, increased compliance costs, expanded potential for negative publicity. So what does this mean? Well, it means that, Robinhood made a ton of money by basically when you use it, okay, it's free, right? So they're taking your trades and they're basically rerouting them to a market maker, or in the case of the AMC GameStop saga, they were rerouting your orders to places like Citadel. These are hedge funds that profit off of basically having your trading information, okay? So as you can see here, it says a majority of our revenue is transaction-based in that we receive consideration in exchange for routing our users' equity, option, and cryptocurrency trade orders to market makers. With respect to equities and options trade, such as fees and payment for order flow, with respect to currency trade, we receive transaction rebates. In case of equities, the fees received are typically based on the size of the publicly quoted bid-ask price for the security being traded. That is, we receive a fixed percentage of the difference between the publicly quoted bid and ask at the time the trade is executed. For options, our fee is on a per contract basis based on the underlying security. Okay, guys, so as you can see here, they generated 75% of their total revenues in last year from payment for order flow. And for the first quarter, it was 81%. So Robinhood is basically making all of its money off of its users. On the Robinhood platform, majority of the revenue, like, you are the product. So, if users jump ship on Robinhood, Robinhood's going to be done as an app. So it's a very, very like high risk type of app. Whereas an app like, say, Coinbase, which recently IPO'd, they generate most of their revenue from fees. So even if users start to leave, they're still going to have those consistent users there that are going to be buying cryptocurrency and stuff like that, generating fees. So I think this is a huge risk factor for Robinhood. And then I'm going to show you why when we break down the total revenue. Okay, so as you can see here, guys, this is a breakdown of the revenue very quickly. So this is 81% of the revenue in the Q1 of 2021 was based on, as I mentioned before, payment for order flow. And you can see that Robinhood generates obviously the majority of their revenue, okay, is coming from options and equity trades, but they're also gaining as well in cryptocurrency, okay? So that revenue was up year over year in the first quarter, up 340%, which is amazing to see. So they also generate revenue, okay, which is 12% of their total revenue in the quarter through interest. So that's lending securities, margin, and stuff like that. And then finally, they have a little bit of revenue from Robinhood Gold. That's their subscription product. It says here that they have around 1.4 million members in the Robinhood Gold platform. So basically, guys, if people jump ship on Robinhood, if they leave the platform, the business is going to be in a lot of trouble. But what you're really paying for here is growth. So now, I think I've covered quite a bit in this prospectus. Okay, this is a very, very long prospectus. If you guys have time and you're really serious about buying quite a substantial stake in Robinhood, I would definitely go through this prospectus and give it a read, because honestly, you definitely want to make sure you're not overpaying when you get into the stock. So now I want to talk a little bit about my future price prediction for Robinhood. Okay, should you buy? This is not financial advice. And am I personally buying the Robinhood IPO? I think it's going to be pretty fairly priced. And the reason why is simply that, if you take a look at the growth, I mean, Robinhood is growing like crazy, okay? Everything, Q1 revenue was up 300 and some percent. It's no denying that people love using the app. Okay, the whole GameStop AMC saga, it didn't deter people from using it. It actually brought in more people. So basically what we're betting on here is, will more people in the future continue to use Robinhood? Because Robinhood is going to continue to make money off order flow. The more people trade on Robinhood, the more people are going to make. And Robinhood has been excellent at gamifying like trading, stock trading, okay? It's not like going with an older, more boring brokerage like Schwab or Fidelity. People on Robinhood, they like to trade. They like the activity. And the company has 18 million users, and I don't see that number going down anytime soon. They have a very, very diversified mix revenue base, okay? They're making money from crypto. They're making money from stock trading, options. They really have they have such a huge, 18 million strong funded accounts. I don't see that number going down. So I definitely think there is some upside here. $35 billion. Here we go. As you can see here, 18 million funded accounts, 81 billion assets, 81 billion assets under custody. If they come out with a crypto wallet, it could really be a game changer, guys. So I think this is a decent buy. Okay, it's not like Coinbase, which I thought was seriously overvalued, and one of the reasons why I didn't talk too much about the Coinbase IPO, because I knew that that was a bad sign. I knew that this was overvalued. But if they can continue to grow at this clip, I don't see any reason why Robinhood. Okay, so they did just under $1 billion in revenue. That was in 2020. If they can continue to grow at an aggressive clip, Robinhood could be doing, they did $500 million in Q1 alone. Okay, maybe they double their revenue this year. They do $2 billion in revenue in 2021. Maybe 2022 they're approaching $3 billion. This stock would be trading at a price to sales ratio of like 10. And it's a profitable company. That's what I think. There's a lot of upside in Robinhood. As much as I don't like that they sell people's order flow, I just can't deny that how fast it's grown, and the fact that most of the investors on the platform are younger, which means they could be investing using Robinhood for the next 10, 20, 30, or 40 years. So a lot of upside here, and I think Robinhood users are pretty loyal to the company as well. And as you can see here, the numbers just keeps going up. More stocks being held there, more options, crypto, everything is going up. So I think it's a good buy, actually. Like I said, guys, it's not financial advice. This is just my personal opinion. But the fact that the company was profitable last year, will probably be profitable this year as well. Positive EBITDA. Things are looking bright for Robinhood. As much as I don't like using the app, I think things are looking bright for this company. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a long prospectus. I'll let you guys know exactly when the IPO is coming up. Apologize, this video went on a long time, but I think we had a lot to talk about in this video. Robinhood has been, took the world by storm last year, and we'll really wait to see their IPO. So if you guys enjoyed this content, please smash the like button and smash the red subscribe button to see more videos from me. Let me know what you guys think. Are you buying the Robinhood IPO? Do you think it's too cheap? Do you think it's too expensive? It's actually priced under the Coinbase IPO. The Coinbase IPO was priced almost double its Robinhood. So, you know, it looks like a pretty solid buy in my opinion, but I'd really be interested to see what you guys think. So that's until next time, guys. Take care.